Did you know data brokers are making billions selling your personal information, usually without your consent? That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
Some days you just want to amplify your everyday look. Like when you want the look of false lashes without the extra effort, reach for Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Volumizer Mascara. Or when you want all eyes on your smile, keep Empower Gloss Ultra Glossy Lip Serum in your bag. It's a burst of 24-hour hydration that smooths like a serum, shines like a gloss, and can be worn sheer or layered. You'll always look and feel your best with Thrive Cosmetics. Plus, every product is 100% vegan, cruelty-free, and made with clean, skin-loving ingredients that work with your skin, not against it. Amplify your everyday. Go to thrivecosmetics.com/shine26 for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/shine26.
I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Me, the Art of Starting Again. With Tisha Michelle, your host, that would be me. All right, so I want to start this episode by talking about something that's been, beautifully just sitting with me, and it's getting real with God. So this topic, it was sparked by a post that I made on TikTok, and then I took it over to IG. So the comments, the DMs, they really opened, it basically just opened the door for some deeper conversations, right? And what I realized was a lot of people are craving real connection, not just with themselves, but with God. Not the performative, not the do it because it looks good kind of, but the honest, the raw, the unfiltered kind. So I was like, you know what? Let me bring this over to Rebuilding Me. Because no matter where we are in life, whether we're starting again, rebuilding, or figuring things out for the first time, that foundation, that center, it can be built on something higher than us, something deeper, right? So also, let me just start with this. Your girl's not going to sit on here and act like I know every scripture. I'm not the one to quote the Bible verses off the top of my head. That is not my lane, and I'm A-okay with that. But side note, I used to think that was so badass. How I'm talking about badass and like scriptures and the same thing. When people would just be like, oh, and they would just start quoting these different scriptures. I couldn't fact check it, unless I grabbed the Bible and started checking. But I used to think that was just so badass to know that. Okay, all right, let me bring it back. Okay. However, anyway, so what I do know is this. I do know there's a higher power. There is something greater than us. I call that energy God, and yes, that's what I was taught growing up, and I've made peace with that name. It's okay. It is okay. I've heard people say, oh, you shouldn't call that because this is what's given and this and that. And I am aware of a lot of those things, but it's kind of like when you pick your battle, right? I'm okay with saying God. That's fine with me. There's no issues with that for me. But I also understand it's a bigger language. So I do believe in God. I also believe in my ancestors. I believe in angels. I believe in spirit guides. And I know they believe in me. That spirit that's within me. But even with all of that, I know that above all is a creator. And no, I personally can't explain it, but I've seen it show up in my life way too many times not to believe it. So for me, it's like, I have to be honest with God, right? So now let me be real with y'all. When I talk to God, it's not always polished at all. Actually, I don't think it's ever polished. Sometimes it's just like, bro, really, like, I'm literally talking to God. I'll be like, bro, why you got me out here like this? Why did you give me this free will knowing that I don't know what to do with it? Like, I'm just out here repeating the same lessons over and over. And then I come praying to you, acting like it's new. Like, God, what happened? Like, I didn't mean to. Give me another chance. Do you forgive me? I'd just be wilding. Like, what? But it makes me feel good knowing that that's how I process. You know, when I'm praying, my praying is very conversational. It's not, performative. It's not, I got to say it like this. I got to say it like that. I'm just really, truly, honestly speaking from my heart. And it's so freeing, because back in the days, like, I felt like, because I was taught you had to pray a certain way, you had to talk, you had to do this, you had to do that, just to build a relationship with God. And it was like, well, I can't really express how it is that I feel, because I got to say it a certain way. I got to be mindful of how I say it and the words that I use. So I don't even get to be, myself. So that stuff went bye-bye. Because I personally don't believe that God is looking for the perfect prayer. I don't believe he's up there checking grammar and looking at the verse count. I believe he's really just looking at our heart. And when we come to him trying to act, trying to perform, or trying to be what we think that God wants us to be, I feel like we miss the whole point. Because God's like, I want to show up for you, but I don't even know who this version of you is right now. Like, where are you at? That's how I imagine God be talking or communicating. So, and I think that's where religion can sometimes get in the way of relationship. Because when you think you have to sound a certain way or dress a certain way, pray a certain way, you start acting. And when you are acting, you're not being vulnerable, because you're not even being honest. And that's why I always say God can't bless the version of you you're pretending to be. He can only meet you where you are, the real you, the raw you. And when I say God can't, I can't speak for God. I'm just saying these are my thoughts and through experiences and stuff, right? So, but just listen. You don't have to have it together to come to God. Sometimes the most powerful prayer is, God, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out. Like, help me out. Whatever. But that's so pure. You think about it. But if you like get on there and you pray and you're like, all these like apologies and all of this stuff, and just, I can't even give an example because I don't even be out here being performative, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, it's not vulnerable. It's not honest. Like, yo, I know what I did was wild, and that's crazy. But I really want you to help me open my eyes so I can see past what I've been seeing. Guide my steps or guide my heart to open up more so I can allow forgiveness in, because I'm struggling right now, because I'm really feeling like I hate this person or I hate myself, whatever it may be. And even just speaking that is healing, because you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest when you're talking to God and saying like, I need your help. Because and I made a joke earlier about the free will, but honestly, like, we have this free will and we're really inserting it out here. We're inserting this free will out here, and then there's a lot of consequences to it. But you can acknowledge it and you can feel it, and you're like, okay, I know I have free will, and y'all not gonna stop me because I have this free will. But why do I keep inserting this free will that's causing all this self-inflicted pain? Like, open my eyes and open my heart. Show me what it is that I'm choosing to not see. And that's just being real. There's nothing performative about that, right? And that's what rebuilding me is about. It's not about perfection. It's not about building or rebuilding your life on a foundation. I mean, did I say it, or it's whatever? I meant to say it's about building or rebuilding your life on a foundation that's real. It's not about building it on something that's performative. Again, building something that's on something that somebody else is saying that you should or you shouldn't do. But for me, that foundation includes my faith, my connection to God, my intuition, and the truth that I don't have to do this alone, which is something I am just starting to really lean into, because your girl has always grown up being the one to take care of everything, to fix everything, and take everything on my shoulders, and to the point that it was my identity that I have to do this on my own. There is nobody else to do it, even though there could be support and everything, but I had just owned that identity. And now I'm like, no, I don't have to do this alone. And that starts for talking to God and asking for God's help, and not just asking for help or praying when something quote unquote bad happens or I'm in a jam, because that was me. I did not talk to God unless something messed up and I needed help. And then I was thinking about it, the years that go by. I said, oh my gosh, can you imagine if you only showed up and talked to your friend when you needed help? Oh gosh, just the thought of that is just icky. So why would I do that with God? Y'all feel me? So anyway, when we start to rebuild from a place of honesty, and like not just with the world, but with like God, that's when I believe like the healing really starts. That's when the clarity comes in. That's when things start flowing. Not because life is like all of a sudden easy, but because you have gotten real. Like you've gotten real. And when you allow yourself to be real with yourself and to be real with God, you'll be so surprised the clarity that comes from that, like saying that out loud. And one, you can just be like, oh my gosh, that's not even true. Like whatever it may be, you'd be like, once you say it out loud, you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't even make any sense. Or I know that doesn't make any logical sense. So why am I doing that again? It's just like this sense of like clarity. And I personally believe that it's because like you've just freed yourself, because you've been holding everything in and feeling this certain way. And then when you're able to be honest and you release that, it's like that weight gets lifted off of you. And when you release that weight, boom, you've created space for the solution or the memory to like drop in. And that's how I feel like God helps us. When if I'm coming to you and I'm keeping it 100, you're like, oh, I got you now. I got you. Because now I know your heart. And two, I know how to address you. I know what solution to give you. I know how to guide you, because that's authentic. That's real. Versus being performative and being very confusing. And it's like you put that confusion out to the universe, you're going to get confusion right back, because it's going to mirror that. And it's like, how can anybody help you when you confuse yourself, when you get a little bit clear, at least on the direction you believe you would like to go, then that energy can be max. So that honesty can just be in like so many things. So yeah. It was just interesting because it was on my heart to really just like talk about that. And it originally stemmed from me having a conversation with God. And it was right before I recorded the TikTok and, and Instagram. I said, hey God, it's me again. I did it again. I was using this free will that I'm still confused why you haven't taken this free will away. Actually, you don't have to take it all the way. Just take it away from these certain parts of my life, because clearly I act like I know what I'm doing, but clearly, I have no clue what I'm doing, because I'm inserting this free will, and we're right back here again. And now I'm having another conversation with you, asking you to save me. So, hey God, it's me again. So that was the conversation. I mean, I went more. I won't go into all of what I was talking about, but that was how the conversation started. And then I kind of I chuckled a little bit outside of that. And I was like, dang. And then I got some downloads. And that was why I recorded it and was like, you got to be, our God said, you got to be honest and not be performative. So I did that post. And I was really surprised with the feedback that I was getting on that, and the people that commented, and the people that, plenty were sending me messages about that. And, kind of telling me, some of them were telling me their upbringing and how their mother, their grandmother would freak out if they were talk to God like that, because they would say that was being disrespectful and that was making fun. And they were when this one particular person was she doesn't feel like that, but that's what she was raised in. And even though she doesn't feel like that, she still found herself being, starting off being very performative, talking to God, till she got to the point that she wasn't even talking to God. And she wasn't talking to God because she felt like she didn't know how to talk to God, because the way that they were telling her, she never went into how or what they were saying, but it just made her be fearful that she would be disrespecting or making fun of. So she just didn't talk. So then she was saying, seeing my post and the fact that, the way I was saying I talk, that she thought that was courageous to be. She thought that was courageous to be, having a conversation with God like that. And we went a little bit deeper and stuff, and she shared a lot of her stuff, so I won't go on into that. But I was like, man. So then I got other people, people were laughing and was like, oh, I thought I was the only person that be talking to God like God's a big homie. I'm like, yes, that's what we do. So it was just different things was just sparked, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I wanted to bring that over, I wanted to bring that over here. But the main message that I want to leave with you is that I just want to encourage you all today is to talk to God like you would talk to your best friend, your brother, your homie, your healer. And you don't have to have the right words. So I don't want you to wait to be perfect. And I definitely don't want you out here performing. I just want you to be real, be honest, and then just watch what happens, because rebuilding doesn't start when you get everything in order. It starts the moment you say, okay, God, here I am. Help me build something real at this time. Until next time. Bye, guys.